Hello guys, welcome to today's session of the Rjay Speaks channel, and today I'm going to be talking about an exciting part of school application called funding, where everyone wants to hear about this. So to just get to the point, today I will be talking more about courses in Youngstown State University that has funding, good, relatively good funding, so you do not have to waste time applying to some courses that you might not get funding, and you could make those chances or try applying to other schools. So that's what this video would be about, and our next video will be on if you have so many funding options, how to choose. That will be in the part B. So for the part A for today, I'm talking about courses that have funding in Youngstown State University. So one is the program for mathematics, so MS Mathematics. I'm not saying this is the only course with funding, but being a student here, the course that has enough funding or sufficient funding is the math program. So you may be scared, is math really pure math in masters? That's how it appears on the website. But I'm an MS Mathematics student, but I don't do extremely pure math. I have a combination which starts with actuarial probability and the like. So don't be scared if you're scared like I was before. Yeah, so haven't mentioned one, the mathematics program. Then two, computer science is also one program that really recruits or gives admission and funding to international students like Ghanaians, Nigerians, people from Nepal, Bangladesh, India. You can keep naming them, Kenya. We have many international students here for computer science. Then for Masters in Education program as well. So maybe you might have done some BEd in any country you're coming from, any other country outside the US, and might want to further in your Masters, so you have Masters in Education. They also have good funding. And I'm not saying the rest might not have good funding, but I just outlined the courses that have, the relatively good funding. So this is subjective. Yeah, so we also have other courses or programs with funding, like economics, right? Masters in economics. Then we have courses like engineering. Yeah, engineering also have good funding. So engineering, we have like civil engineering, like you have chemical engineering, like electrical engineering. We have computer science, we have industrial also. Is it industrial art? There's an art course also with funding, which I've heard about. There might be others which I have not heard, but I've interacted with so many international students, and these are the courses I've heard, or these are the data out of the research I made. So if you happen to be interested in any of the courses I just mentioned, then this school could be the school for you. Right, then we have I know one who have done fashion, like fashion design as a minor, I think, before, with a scholarship also. Then but you should ask if the scholarship is available in the fall. So mostly scholarships are available for the fall semester. On some random notes that you happen to find scholarships in the spring, so I advise you to apply in the fall for fall semesters and not spring. You only apply to spring unless you're very sure the scholarship is waiting for you. Then on another random occasion, I saw full funding for a course called criminal justice. So for me, being a science person with a science background, I thought like criminal justice has to do, maybe you have to be a law student, but no, the good news is that if you have any social science background, okay, so for the person I know, I don't want to give wrong information, but the person I know had a social science background and got fully funded into the criminal justice program. So that's also a course that is upcoming here, or has been here, but has funding for an international student, which you may want to consider. So having done that, then you need to find the timing the timing of the funding. Most people say, I've applied to Youngstown State University, and maybe you applied in the fall last year, so maybe you applied around October, like September, November, December, and you have still not heard from Youngstown State University, and you have other funding options. So what should you do? So if you're in the same situation, or has Youngstown State University neglected your application, the answer is no. So the unique thing about Youngstown, I have to say unique because I'm still in the school. Anyway, even after it's still unique to me. So the thing about Youngstown State University, especially for the math department, is that funding comes out around May 15th. I think most Youngstown students should be patient in nature, because before you can wait for that funding, then you should have waited for quite a long time, and by that time many schools would have given out funding decisions. So if you really want to know whether Youngstown neglected your application or not for funding, until May 15th, you never know if you stand a chance or not. So that's an information for you. So if you happen to have applied and still not heard, it does not mean your application has been neglected, but it just means that it's not yet out. Maybe the funding decisions might have been made within the department, but the letters are not yet out. So if you want to try other places too, cool. I mean, many eggs do not spoil the whole thing. So it's just for you. And is GRE a requirement, or is it necessary? What should we say? Okay, so it's yes and it's a no. Yes, in the sense that most, I can say 90% or 80% of people with full funding in Youngstown State University took the GRE. And no, because there have been just one instances where people without the GRE got the funding, maybe under the jurisdiction of, or under the umbrella of COVID. And you and I know COVID is flying away. I don't know, maybe that's just a wrong speculation, but I mean, the impact of COVID is not as great as it was before in the year 2020 and 2021. So I can't promise that GRE will continually be waived, but if you can write it, please do. Please, I'm begging you, please do if you want the funding. And also, if it's being waived and you have your GRE scores and your scores are really good, I mean good and better than mine, you have to upload them, because I feel like they have you stand a higher chance of being selected compared to someone who did not write. So I know sometimes there have been people who happen to get funding and application within shortest possible time, 2 weeks, 1 week, 3 weeks. I've heard all that, but writing it and passing it very well increases your chances of getting funding. I hope that works. So sometimes when applying to maybe other schools, it might not be mandatory, but if your scores are really strong and good, please upload them, because it's gonna increase your chances of getting funding. Yeah, then the next one is how to apply for funding in Youngstown State University. So for Youngstown State University, whilst applying, I'm sure you've gone to watch the applying to Youngstown State University for the first time video, and I mentioned some 4 essays or documents that you upload. So that's where the application for the assistantship comes in. We do it together. So as you're applying for admission, you indicate, there's a part when filling the forms that indicates, would you want to be considered for graduate assistantship, and that would you want your courses to be on campus or off campus. You have to choose on campus. Yeah, and if you want to be selected, just check that box, and it automatically considers you, not automatically gives you, but considers you or shows that you're interested. So in that case, your portal for your application includes where you have to upload the names and details of your recommenders. So that is the majority, or that forms the majority part of the assistantship application, your recommendation. That being said, your recommenders must give you a very strong recommendation. So don't go and look for some random lecturer who may not have time to write the best news about you. Just go in for your favorite lecturers to write really good one, because that influences your funding decision or your funding position in this school. And I know for some of you might have wrongly heard that funding almost, or graduate teaching assistant. So that's how the funding works. It works either you become a graduate teaching assistant or you become a graduate research assistant. So people say, oh, it's often people who have been TAs during undergrad that gets the chance to be graduate teaching assistants. But here am I was not a TA, I was a personal assistant. I mean, for my noble boss, Mr. Frank Oye, wherever he is, shout out to him. Please, he's old, so don't use this against me. He's married. Yeah, so I was a personal assistant, but never been a TA before. But that does not stop you from applying. You can use examples of teaching or instances where you taught. So for myself, I've taught my own friends before from senior high school. I used to teach my mates or colleagues core math and elective math. I stated them in the essay for the graduate assistantship. So while applying for assistantship in Youngstown, you have to upload those 4 documents, like your statement of purpose. It's in the other video. Go watch it. And your academic records, all schools attended, like you attended from high school to current, then your employment history, where you've worked, then your graduate assistantship, that's the name of that essay, indicating whether by merit or whether by financial need. So in writing that essay, which is called graduate assistantship, why should you be given the funding? Why? So it can be merit. You can tell us about all the, I think I laid them out in the other video, so you have to go and watch it. You can tell us about why you feel you're the most qualified. Then also by merit, maybe you'll not be able to fund, this tuition, looking at the high cost, etc., and you do that. So that actually forms part of the assistantship application. You submit, but make sure your recommendation is really good. So for your teaching experience, you can include them in the graduate assistantship essay that you write, and any teaching you may have done. It could be church teaching that you've done, community teaching, but give some sense of teaching that you've done, so it gives them the assurity that if you're given the chance to teach, you're not just new to teaching, but at least you can do it. Or you can use your work experience where you have to maybe teach your colleagues something. Kindly include that to increase your chances of being selected. So how much is it, the funding averagely? How much is there? Should I say it? Should I not say it? Okay, so I'll averagely say that the funding is averagely between 9,000 and 10,000. I mean, for stipend, after the fees have been waived, right? After you've had fees or tuition being waived, then you have about 9,000 to, let me just say 8,000 to 10,000, depending on your department, for stipend, which is given out or paid every 2 weeks. So bi-weekly, that's how most payment system runs. For some schools it's monthly, but for here it's bi-weekly, then you get that amount. So if maybe your stipend rate is 7,000 should not mean that you should divide that by 12 and expect the divided by 12 amount every month. Now it doesn't work like that, because you have factors infused into the amount. It could be taxes, you have to be taxed to be paid, everything. So it's going to reduce slightly, but approximately 7,000, 10,000 should be good for you. So in my next video, I'm going to be talking about when you have so many funding options, like Youngstown State University, you have another one from Florida State University, another one from Bowling Green, another one from Illinois State University. Like, which one should you choose? Then also, yeah, that's what I'm going to be talking about, and what you need to know about paying of fees. So why is it that some people have full scholarships and still pay fees as huge as $1,000 a semester, like $1,003? I guess you didn't know about that. So in my next video, I'll be talking about that. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, this is the time to do so. Click on it now to be posted on any other update. When you say Youngstown, what do you say? Go Penguins! We are young and proud. I mean, like proud, like not the one that leads to my four, but proud like my pride. Hi, yeah. I'm done. Bye. Get ready for the part B. Subscribe.